Nolan Anderson. I'm your host of the After Practice podcast, and I'm here with co-host
Brendan Vanderpool, the Bahamian record holder in the pole vault. You know, it might be a little bit dark. I can't lie because, it's getting a little dark, a little ebonic, but, it's your boy. And we're also here with...
Sam Fort. I'm a hurdler. That's about it. I'm from Connecticut.
Give it to me. I never introduced myself. I'm Bradley Franklin, another hurdler from Birmingham, Alabama. We are already here, so I don't need to say that.
I'm from Atlanta.
I'm also from Atlanta. Bradley, here, come over in frame a little bit, because I can adjust it. You're in frame now. All right, that works. That works.
I'm telling you,
That works.
I'm a dark guy. It's just...
You come up fine in the camera.
I hope so.
As long as you lean forward a little bit so the light's
You're not
in your
even
face.
gonna tell.
I think we'll be fine.
Yes. Good throw. All right, so let's start off with this first question is, where did you grow up and how did it affect who you became? I'm going to pass this to Brendan.
Okay, so where did I grow up and how has it affected me? Well, from when I was born in Virginia, and for the first 5 years of my life, I stayed there. How has it really affected me? I mean, back then, I wasn't even thinking about athletics. I mean, I was an active kid. We'd go to, the nearby pool. We'd just, skate around we had all different kinds of, tools, and our neighbor's garage had, bikes and skateboards. And so, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was always active. I love that kind of stuff. But, I mean, I think that also, helped jumpstart as to, my just energy. And I had to put it somewhere just as a kid. I mean, I feel like every kid has that. But me particularly, I was I don't know, I was faster than a lot of the kids. And so I'd always, I don't know if it was just, a winning ego thing. Don't say it. I feel like you're holding it. But that, I don't know, as a kid, that's always been my thing. So I've always been active. So I think that can, play a role into that. From 5 to whatever, 18, since I'm 2 years ago, I came to Birmingham, but I haven't moved. So anyway, in Atlanta, I just stayed there, did elementary through high school at the same place, Whitfield Academy. There, it was a prestigious private Christian school, it was harder, definitely, class-wise. So it's definitely made me, up my game when it comes to, education and that kind of stuff. I think that a lot of there's this stigma where athletes are oh, you're either really really book smart and then you're really athletic and you're kind of dumb. And so with that, I kind of focused more on the books than your average athlete you'd find in Atlanta or any nearby area. So I think that's also why I'm able to come to I don't know how difficult Sanford is, if it's that hard.
I think it depends which route you take.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a business major, by the way. It's hard. It's decently hard, I guess. But focusing on books, I think that's what I could say about my background. I've been born and raised around excellence in education, as well as on the track, or at least that's where I've incorporated it as, but... I mean, yeah, that's what I could say to my background, I guess, in a short little snippet. So,
Is this a whole backstory?
You don't have to do a whole backstory. It's just, how would you answer the question of where did you grow up and how did it affect who you became today?
Okay. I grew up in Connecticut. I don't know how much it affected me. I started with gymnastics as my main sport, and that's not really a major sport in the North. I don't know how much it is in the South either, but... It's a
little bit more of a thing.
Yeah, it's probably bigger. But I stopped that in about 7th grade because I wanted to play football. And I never really thought about track until my sophomore year of high school. And I started that, and I was still trying to play football in college till my junior or senior year. And then I had never been to the South, really, other than trips and stuff. So my dad really wanted to move down south because of the cheaper prices and housing and all that and living. So I was looking here, I was looking at a couple other schools, and this seemed to be the best fit. So this is where I ended up.
Sanford.
But, yeah, Sanford. I went to high school in Middletown, Connecticut, at a Catholic school, which this is a little different. Christian and Catholic, it's just a little different. But, I don't know, I like the environment here a lot more than Connecticut. I'd say the weather's a lot nicer, the people are a lot nicer, and I like it a lot more. That's about it.
That was way better. I went all over everything. That was way better.
To answer the question for me, so I've been all over the place. I was technically born like here in Homewood. I grew up in a like private Christian school, similar to you guys, for like I think pre-K through first grade. Then we moved to some podunk town called Demopolis in the absolute middle of nowhere. If I asked you to point it out on a map, with like, if the name was literally there, you would still not be able to find it. And it was a very small town. Basically, everyone knew each other. The education system was not great. But my dad tried to, and my mom both tried to teach me things while we were there. He kept me active. Like, he tried to take me out to like the park when I was younger, and then he started taking me to the track and to a hill sometimes to like do some running, because he didn't want me to be like just some inactive, like sit around the house all day child. And when we moved to that city, I switched schools like 4 different times. So it was hard to maintain friendships a little bit. But joined the track team in 7th grade, and I started to form friends there, and then we immediately moved again to a city called Alabaster, which is like 20 minutes or so from here. And then I just spent the last 5 years there making new friends, joining the track team there, becoming, I swear to God, I'm not trying to be arrogant when I say this, being one of the best athletes that has come out of that school system. And then I just worked my way through that into getting a scholarship here in Sanford, and now I'm really happy with where I am.
So yeah, I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, and I started off doing gymnastics at a very young age, and as time went on, we ended up moving way down south to Vidalia, Georgia. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of like Vidalia onions.
No.
If you ever go to a restaurant and it says Vidalia onions, they're the best onions in the world. But it's like similar to Bradley. It's like a town no one ever. The population is about like, it's in the thousands. It's not a lot of people. But I lived there for 3 years, and before that I lived in Macon for another 3 years. And I didn't really do many sports like at an earlier age. I did soccer for about 3 years, and then whenever I moved back up to North Georgia, I started doing karate, and I did that all the way from 4th grade till about 7th grade, when I had a hamstring injury, and I was growing so quickly that my hamstring couldn't re-heal. And from that point on, I just kind of had to stop doing anything active for a year because I couldn't sit down properly. And I ended up going to like a non-impact sport known as indoor skydiving, and I did that for a couple of years, and I ended up retiring from that going into my freshman year of high school, and that's when I started getting into track. I did the 1600 and 800 meter, and I saw the people doing pole vault, and I thought it was a dope sport, and I tried that, and I ended up being good at it, and it's gotten me all the way to Sanford. And I would say, being all around Georgia, I'd say it's impacted me to have a broader perspective and see other people's point of views and not be so like narrow-minded when it comes to hearing other people's thoughts. Moving on from our first question, I want to ask y'all, I think this might be more of a question for Brendan because he's had more time to think about this, but as a collegiate athlete, how are you different from your high school self?
Okay. So how am I different from my high school self? Real quick question. What position were you in soccer?
I was like, it was so long ago, but I would always be the one that would hang back.
So
you
were in middle? Like,
I wasn't middle. I was more of like, I was in like first, second, third grade. So like,
Oh, wow.
we weren't like.
Yeah, there's no.
I took it really seriously, like as serious as a like elementary school kid could take it. But I was more like offensive, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just real quickly, I did soccer for 2 years. I forgot to mention that. I was just left wing, literally just run and pass the ball. That's literally all you did. But anyway, I thought that was cool. How am I different from my high school self? Mainly, I know more, simply. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's just understanding how what your technique is. Like, as a pole vaulter, it's very, very, there's so many things to go into the sport, man. Like, into this event, I guess. There's so many different categories and nuances that you have to learn, not only about the event itself, but how you jump, how you can react to different scenarios, what happens when you're tired, what do you do, how long of poles do you need to get on from this step and this run. But I guess the biggest thing from high school to college is simply, just knowing. Now I know, and I don't need a coach to kind of tell me or adjust me. I'm very, very fast moving. Like, on the field, I can make quick decisions to help whatever the scenario is, and I can attribute that probably to my dad, who was my coach in high school for the past 4 years, and the 5th year with my current coach, Coach T. So with that, it's just being comfortable in your own skin, I guess. Having developed a different reputation as a successful athlete here also helps like bolster that confidence a little bit. I don't want to seem super, what's the word, not boisterous, but just arrogant or prideful, but definitely confident, because my first year I really didn't know what I was doing. And over time, it just became more like, okay, this is going to work, and this is going to work, and this is going to work. And then soon, like, you realize you have this set of tools that you can almost do anything you want with, on and off the track. It's just developing life skills, I'd say. I'm a lot more confident in that. And high school me, you wouldn't recognize me. I was a totally...
The hair was different as well.
Oh, gosh, no. No. My hair, bruh. Oh, before I had this, it was just like it was a low cut. Like, all black kids had the same cut, bro. I swear to you. They all had the low cut because they didn't want us growing out our hair.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like half cut off Cheeto looking thing.
Oh, man. Yeah, I used to use a sponge. And some people can make sponges look really good. I couldn't, because my sponge was old and it was wrinkly and trash. And so I remember, oh gosh, don't even remind me of that. That was awful, man. You can probably find pictures of me like that, but I'm so glad I switched to twists, because these are such low maintenance and it's very easy. And I like the free form of it. You could just do whatever you want. I could tie it back if I wanted to, but yeah. I guess that's the biggest difference for me. I mean, y'all haven't had as much time as me.
No, but I'd say we could use like our first semester experience as collegiate athletes compared to high school, and like just kind of compare, like how have we changed over our first college semester.
Also, random side note, I did not notice that you were wearing a Mike Tyson ugly Christmas sweater.
It was a Christmas gift.
Stand up.
But let me show the camera. This is a little Christmas gift I got. Merry Christmas. Mike Tyson, if you see this, don't beat me up, please. I just thought it was funny, and you thank those promoters, because this is one of the comfiest sweaters I've ever worn. So, yeah.
I don't really know how to answer this question, but in the time that I have had in college, I've always been pretty independent, so it hasn't been really much of a switch for me. I like that I have a lot more time here, which I really like. I didn't have much time in high school because my high school was like half an hour away, and I was always either there or at practice, and I wouldn't have that much time at home. So this is a really big difference for me, is in the fact that I have a lot more time to do my homework. I have a lot more time to just relax and stretch and that kind of thing. So I think it helps me a lot more with my training and my rehab, and I can focus a lot more on it. I also had more time to focus on school, which is good and has helped me a lot. But that's really about it. Also, the workouts were a big change for me. I didn't really do many running workouts. I didn't really do much other than hurdle. So the long running workouts were a big change, and I kind of like them now, but I didn't really start.
Have you noticed a difference, like in your strength, during those long runs?
I haven't really done much to notice, but I definitely feel better after doing the hard workouts than I did when I came in because I felt horrible, but now they're not as bad.
All right, Bradley.
For me, absolute biggest thing, everyone cares. Like, everyone on the team cares about how well they do. I'm used to, at high school, like, genuinely half of the teams, like, they're just going to practice to be there. They're not.
Less than half.
Yeah, they just don't really try. Like, at our state meet for the past 2 years, we had maybe 8 people total going to state. That's it. No one else. We had a team of like 50 people. 8 people went to state. Like, I don't even know how it gets to that point, but it's so much nicer to be in an environment where genuinely everyone cares about how well they're doing. They care about how much effort they put into something. They want to do everything they can to be the best athlete that they can be, and it's just awesome. And it helps push me to want to make myself better. And similar to what Sam was saying, I wasn't used to doing like high rep, low rest, like long hard workouts. Like, God, don't even get me started on the workouts that we have to do, but they're hard, but they make me a better athlete. They make me strong. I'm probably in better shape now than, okay, this is kind of an obvious statement, but I'm in better shape now than I've ever been in my entire career as an athlete.
Same.
I agree with
Yes.
Like, even when I was coming out of Christmas break, when I had not done as much working out as we had been doing, I was probably in better shape, being slightly out of shape, than I was in my peak condition when I was in my senior year. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
And also, Bradley hit the huge point that like affected me coming out of high school was being around other highly motivated athletes was new to me, and it helped me push myself further. And that's something I really like about college compared to high school, because it was always just me. I was my school's only pole vaulter for some time, and it gets pretty lonely, not gonna lie. And I kind of like felt some days that I was crazy, like, am I doing enough or am I doing too little? And just coming out in college, it helped solidify that what I'm doing is gonna work, and I see the results starting to show, and I'm really happy that I'm here, and I'm a better teammate and a better athlete after coming to college. And I hope that anyone who's serious about track gets to experience what we've all gotten to experience, because it's a blessing. It's a blessing for sure. And leading on to our next question, I want to ask y'all, what's the biggest failure and success of your first college semester?
Wow. My first college semester, my biggest success, I mean, was probably, I just have to say, my PR. I mean, as a freshman, if I was able to continue to PR, okay, you know what, let me brace this with a lot of pole vaulters that you see go from high school to college. 80% of them,
It's a slow progression.
they just like, they hear and then they don't jump their PR for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the transition to college, the transition to having a lot of freedom, whatever it could be. But I notice a lot of trends of like people taking a little bit longer to get back into that constant increase that they had in high school, if they did have it. I don't know all the different factors of it. Like, I don't know if it's just adjusting to a new team, if it's trying to make sure you're eating well, or like, it's a lot of stuff is now on you that you might not be able to handle, and therefore that could affect your performance. But for me, my biggest blessing was to maintain that. And in my indoor season, I jumped I went from jumping 506, which is 16.7 and like a quarter inch, to 545, which is 17 feet 10 inches. And that jump was like crazy to me, and it still is my PR. I still haven't jumped as high yet. This year I am very confident that I will break that and continue to grow, because I really do care about constant increase. I like the sophomore slump thing. Get that out of here, bro. No. No, so but for me, probably that's my biggest thing. My failure. I mean, I have a goldfish memory when it comes to things that negatively affect me, which is my way of just dealing with a lot of stuff. Now I know it's not, you don't want to forget the past so that history will repeat itself if you don't fix it or change it or address it. But honestly, like, I guess it's taking care of myself and making sure that I'm the rehab part of it. My freshman year, I didn't know squat about rehab. Like or didn't care to know, and that caused me to have like my first. It wasn't really. It is an injury but it wasn't a sudden one. It was what do you call it? It's just it's a progressional injury. Like instead of something, like if you have what is it? Like if you have like muscle tendonitis, it's like something happened, but tendinosis is like a long thing that takes longer to rehabilitate and fix and strengthen. That's what I had. I had a groin injury that freshman year. That was bad. that took me out, and it costed me a couple meets, and it costed me even towards outdoor season. I couldn't even compete at regionals because the pain was too great, and it cost me a potential nationals opportunity. But with that, I mean, it's just a learning experience. So I'm not really too pressed about it. But if I had to say my biggest failure was probably the potential to do more. So.
Start off, I'd say my biggest success was managing my time and figuring out how to do my homework at the right times and how to fit everything else in. I was also really proud of my grades, but my biggest failure, I'd say, was not stretching enough, which now I've fixed. But in the first semester, I really wasn't stretching, and through the Christmas break when I was hurdling, I really noticed it then, and I knew I should have been doing it, and I was telling myself I should have done it, but I didn't, and now I fixed that. So I don't know if it's a failure anymore, but that was my biggest failure of the first semester.
I would like to say real quick, I got him on that. I remember I pulled him to the PT room. And I'm like, look, I'm learning a squat. Or not a squat, I'm learning a split. Yeah. And he's like, you know what, I used to be able to do that. And then this man goes and he's like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. Hits the meanest freaking stretch I've ever seen. And then he's like, oh, I'm feeling old. I haven't done this in a long time. Yeah. This man has I'm like, bro, are you serious?
How was your stretching over break though?
I was resting and stretching my brain so that I can.
Hey, yo. What?
I don't know. I was relaxing. I was taking it easy. I ain't gonna lie, because I just needed a break. I mean, honestly, this semester was pretty difficult. I don't know. That's just sophomore. I feel like the transition from freshman to sophomore year, it's different. So y'all just brace for that. That's all.
Honestly, my biggest failure was kind of the opposite of his biggest success. I have ADHD, if you haven't noticed me playing with this ball the entire time. But I struggle with focusing. Like, I'll genuinely have, 4 different homework assignments that I need to get done, and I'll just be sitting and they're, just doom scrolling or something. I'm thinking I need to do that homework, and then I'll proceed to not do it, which I'm going to lock in and try to refocus on doing that to the best of my ability this semester. But I'd say my greatest success is forming relationships with my teammates. So back in high school, I would tend to just I would have 3 or 4 actual friends, and then everyone else I just didn't really know anything about. I knew their names, I kind of acquaintances with them, but I didn't talk to them that much. But this, in my college experience, I'm trying to form actual relationships like how I have with you guys. You guys are my friends, and I'm happy about that. It's nice to have meaningful bonds with people around me. I mean, it's kind of hard with you two because not to with you guys because you're my literal next door neighbors.
Right across from
Yeah.
me. See, I would say first semester of college, my biggest failure would be my sleep schedule. I am very sensitive to sleep. So if I get 6 hours of sleep, I'm okay the first day, but the next day, even if I get perfect sleep, I'm heavily affected by that lack of sleep the night before, and it would affect me not only in the classroom, but also on the track, I would be like slightly slower. Like I just wouldn't feel connected with my body. And also there were moments when I felt like I almost like pulled my hamstring, almost had like a couple of like weird muscle twitches, and it was because of my lack of sleep, and my body, it wasn't able to recover, and so that put me at risk of injury. And so that's something that it's an easy fix this semester, and it's something that I can't afford to go through, because my body needs rest to be able to compete and perform. And I'd say my biggest success would be just putting myself out there, talking to people I don't even know, to learn more about my surroundings, and kind of like just taking every opportunity I can, and get like knowing that I only have 4 years in college, and I want to make sure I use every single one of those years to the fullest. And that's something I'm really proud of my first semester, and I hope to continue to have that strive to take advantage of what I've been gifted with. And also forming friends like you guys. Y'all are dope. Y'all are really dope. We're able to do this stuff and have fun. And what's something that you want the listeners to learn from listening to this podcast? What do you want them to learn from you?
Well, that's easy. I will say this, or I'll start this by saying I don't remember who said this, but it was some sort of influencer, some sort of content creator that said this a while ago. But how they made content was they imagined they were speaking to their younger selves. And so I'm going to speak towards, like, if I was talking, like, anyone who's listening, this is what I would value the most from this. Take a chance. For me, for most of my life, I've been pretty, like, not afraid to do something new, but it's very, like, I'm very monotonous. Like, I'll do something, I'll stay very, I'll stay, like, doing the same thing, making sure, like, I wouldn't try different foods. Yes, I'm allergic to some stuff, but, like, I think taking a chance and trying something new is definitely something that, like, I've adopted throughout not just this year, but just, like, throughout college life. I've understood, like, just more, like, stuff like this. Like, I've always wanted to try doing some sort of content creation and some sort of podcast. Man, we're just here chilling. Like, we're literally just trying something new, bro. We'd have no idea how this is going to go. But, I mean, so far, this is dope. Like, I'm just here chilling and actually acting on the stuff that I've always had in the back of my mind. And so it's just pulling that execute button. I would say if you have some sort of dream that you really, really do want to chase after, or if you're currently chasing after a big one and you have smaller ones that you don't think you have time for, or if you really don't know how to really go about it, just give it a shot so you have something. So you can't just sit there and speculate and, oh, what if I did? Oh, I wish. Oh, just give it a shot. Just one. At least one. So you have something to go off of and say, okay, maybe really this isn't the smartest thing to do right now. Or, oh, that was kind of cool. Maybe I could try again and make it better. That's the biggest thing I'd say. Actually, now as I was talking about it, I do remember. It was Frederick Richards, the same Olympic. He went to the Olympics and did great for U.S. He was a gymnast. He's the black dude. He'd be doing windmills in his routine. He's ridiculously strong. That guy, I messaged him like 2 years ago, and he was like, I'm like, how do you get the courage to pick up the camera and record? And he said, just do it. Literally, don't think about how good it's going to be. Don't think about the quality of it. Just give it a try and have some sort of footage so you can say, and post it and try it and give it a shot. And if it does poorly, then okay, you have something to learn. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. So I'd say take a chance, because you really do only have one life. And I think that you should live it to the best of your ability. So.
It's kind of where I was going to go, but I'm going to switch it up and say, I think my biggest thing is believing in myself and believing in yourself. I think that's the thing that's brought me here and the thing that's really helped me progress as an athlete. Taking training seriously, and really, even though I was by myself a lot of the time, probably all the time when I was training, just keeping accountability for yourself and doing everything that you need to do without anybody asking you to do it. or without anybody telling you need to do it. Just knowing that to achieve your goals, you need to do what has to be done to achieve your goals, I guess. There's nothing really else to it other than, I guess, dreaming big and doing the things that you need to get there. I guess that's really...
That's good.
That's real. That's real. Seriously.
You know what? I know exactly what I'm going to say. Talent exists, but that does not mean that you are not capable of being good at something. If you see someone who's like, say, someone 5 years younger than you, or 6 years younger than you, is drawing, like you're trying to be an artist and someone's drawing like significantly better than you and they're younger than you, that does not mean that you cannot be a great artist. You have to put in the time and the effort to want to become better. If you truly desire to become a great artist, you cannot just let someone else doing better than you, faster than you, deter you, because everyone learns at a different rate. And to go off of that tangent, what was I going to say? I forgot. I'm not gonna lie, but if it comes back to me, I'm just gonna steal the mic from whoever has it. But yeah, do not allow someone's perceived talent to deter you from becoming what you want to be, or doing what you want to do.
I would say I want the listener to learn that there's a lot of people that are going after what you want, and if you want to get the thing that you're going after, you have to be able to find an edge that you have over the other person, whether it's you're able to look at social media 1 hour less than them and you're able to put it into more work into whatever it is you want to do. And I definitely know I wasted a lot of time in high school on social media, and part of that was posting content and learning, but another part of it was just wasting time. And that's something that I would tell the listeners: spend less time on social media and invest it in yourself, because at the end of the day, that's the thing that's going to change your life. Just investing and putting yourself in positions where you're uncomfortable and you grow from every situation that you feel like you're not supposed to be in. You ultimately grow, and I think that's something that is valuable for anyone that's out there. And yeah, I'm gonna say, if you want to find more information on these young handsome gentlemen, we got Brendan Vanderpool. You can follow him at
I got it. Vandervault 18. You'll see me. Vandervault 18 dreads.
and Sam Fort.
I don't know my Instagram off the top of my head. I think it's Sam Fort _ or __. I don't know which one, but
Just look who Vandervault is following.
Yeah.
And Bradley.
So I have an Instagram and Twitter, but I'm not gonna lie, I haven't posted on either of them in like 2 years. So
You can just search up his name and you'll find him.
yeah.
Bradley Franklin. Boys at G. You can find me, Okavault. This has been the after. I'm gonna re-edit. I'm editing. Okay.
Oh my
No,
God.
don't edit it out. This makes it more authentic.
Okay, no, you
Okay.
can do like the little cut thing.
Okay, I'll be like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
Stutter on my words. I'm Owen Anderson. You can follow me at Okavault, and this has been the After Practice Podcast.
Wait, we should have like an outro, like just something like, I don't know. We just
back is broken, bro.
Yo.
what this is
for too long, dude.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Just hit like a back swivel, whatever. Get some juices flowing.
You guys have any dice? I want to play gongi.
Yo, I have dice.
Well, Baba.
Yo, this might look crazy, but
Oh shoot!
all good.
Shoot, I did not
That
mean this.
is genuinely
I did
the
not-
most
I-
insane ass pull I've ever seen. Like, you just randomly have dice.
I'm always ready like that. For sure.
Like, what did you buy these for?
I like gambling a little bit.
A
little bit?
Genuinely.
A little bit. Yo, after we end the podcast, it's whenever everyone's real.
Hey, bro, we're just having a good time.
I know. That was fun. All right, I'm gonna end it here.
Deuces.